pregnancy. It's a word that holds so much, doesn't it? There's this incredible hope, this profound sense of creation, but it's also a journey that requires our deepest care. So in this explainer, we're going to explore that journey, the science behind it, the risks involved, and the path to making sure both mother and child are as healthy as can be. It really all starts with this one fundamental question. How does this miraculous process actually happen? How do we go from a single cell to a new life? And, maybe just as important, what's our role in protecting it right from the very beginning? Well, let's find out. So let's start at the beginning with the idea of pregnancy as a sacred trust. The journey from conception, it's just a biological marvel. It's this perfectly orchestrated process that lays the entire foundation for a new human being. That first trimester, that's where the miracle and the vulnerability are really at their peak. Think about it. In just 12 short weeks, the whole blueprint of a person is drawn up. The heart starts beating, the brain begins to take shape, the lungs form. Every single major organ starts its incredibly complex development. It's such a delicate phase, and it's where the foundations for a whole lifetime of health are being put in place. But, this delicate journey isn't always a straight line. It has its challenges. There are external factors, different substances and risks that can cast a shadow on that development. And understanding what they are is really the first step toward prevention. So the placenta is this amazing, life-sustaining link between mother and child. It delivers all the good stuff, nutrients, oxygen. But it's not a perfect shield. It's better to think of it like a really selective filter. And while it blocks a lot of harmful things, some smaller, more harmful substances can still manage to get through. This is exactly why a mother's choices become so incredibly important for the developing baby. Okay, so let's take a closer look at some of the most well-known risks. Tobacco, for instance, can restrict growth and lead to serious birth defects. Alcohol is critically dangerous because it can interfere with the brain's development. In fact, it's the leading known cause of preventable birth defects. Then you have substances like cocaine, which is terrifying because it constricts blood vessels, literally choking off the vital supply of oxygen and nutrients. Opioids, they pose the awful risk of the newborn actually having to go through withdrawal. Even cannabis has been linked to issues like low birth weight. The message here is crystal clear. What goes into the mother's body can have direct and sometimes lasting consequences. And it's not just about illegal drugs or alcohol. Even everyday things require us to be more mindful. Take caffeine, for example. The expert consensus recommends keeping it under 200 milligrams a day. To put that in perspective, that's about what you'd get in one standard cup of coffee. It's a really simple, practical guideline that just goes to show how even the small choices really do matter. And beyond the things we talk about all the time, there are other sort of hidden risks to be aware of. Unprescribed medications, even common painkillers, absolutely need a doctor's okay. Foodborne bacteria like Listeria, which you can find in things like unpasteurized cheeses or some deli meats, can be really dangerous. And of course, exposure to strong environmental chemicals or radiation should be avoided. It's all about creating the safest possible environment for that tiny life to develop. All right, now we have to approach this next topic with a great deal of sensitivity, because sometimes, despite all the hope and all the care in the world, a pregnancy journey comes to a halt. This is the painful reality of early pregnancy loss, and it's a subject that requires our utmost compassion and understanding. So, an early miscarriage is medically defined as the loss of a pregnancy within those first 12 weeks. But what's so crucial to understand here is just how common this is. It affects up to 1 in 5 known pregnancies. It's a widespread experience, but it's one that is so often endured in silence. And a critical question is always, why? Why does this happen? Well, the main cause, accounting for a staggering 60% of early losses, is random chromosomal abnormalities. Imagine genetics as a really complex instruction manual for building a new life. A chromosomal abnormality is like a critical misprint in that manual that happens right at the moment of conception, and it just makes healthy development impossible. There are other causes for sure, but the vast majority are due to these spontaneous genetic factors that are completely outside of anyone's control. And this brings us to a point that just cannot be said enough. In the overwhelming majority of these cases, a miscarriage is a biological reality. It is not a personal failure. It's often just the body's natural response to a pregnancy that couldn't have developed properly. It is not about something someone did or didn't do. This is a fundamental truth, and it's so, so vital for healing. The physical loss is really only one part of the story. the emotional and psychological toll is just immense. This experience can lead to profound grief, anxiety, depression, even post-traumatic stress disorder. Simply acknowledging that this pain is real is the first step toward healing, and it just highlights the deep need for compassion and support from family, friends, and the whole community. After a loss, the path forward can feel, well, pretty daunting. But knowledge and proactive care can really pave the way toward healing and a renewed sense of hope. So let's explore the steps that can be taken to prepare for a healthy pregnancy in the future. The journey toward a healthy pregnancy can actually start before you even conceive. The very first step, talk to a doctor. Then start a daily folic acid supplement to help prevent certain birth defects. It also means getting any chronic conditions under control, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and, just as importantly, making your emotional well-being a real priority. These are the pillars for a healthy future. And look, this preparation is a shared responsibility. It's a team effort. While the mother is the one carrying the child, the partner's role is absolutely crucial. For him, this might mean quitting smoking, which helps improve sperm health and gets rid of secondhand smoke. It absolutely means providing that unwavering emotional support and helping to create a healthy, low-stress home. It truly is a partnership. So, we've journeyed from the miraculous beginnings of life through some of the challenges and toward a path of health and hope. And all this knowledge, it isn't meant to cause fear. It's meant to empower you. And it leaves us with one last reflective question. With this understanding, with all this knowledge, how can we each best honor the sacred trust that is new life?